John Lennon famously said, "War is over if you want it." No, a military person from the United States just killed a bunch of Afghani people. Some say it was more than one military person and that the government is covering it up. Well, here's the print. LA Times. A lone American serviceman slipped away from his base in southern Afghanistan before dawn Sunday and went on a methodical house to house shooting rampage in a nearby village, killing 16 people, nearly all of them women and children. That's the LA Times. That's why it matters. Women and children. Here is something from the video news.
Photos from the scene show the carnage. As many as 16 Afghans, including 9 children and 3 women,
Gunned down. And here is the entertainment side of it from the Amazing Atheist.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but there was this soldier in Afghanistan, American soldier, and what he did was he went in this house, right, full of like women and children and shit, like a family, like a nice like family environment, and he
A nice, like, family environment. So, war will continue because when somebody kills a bunch of people, we don't focus on the fact that we socialized this insane person. That was the Amazing Atheist, the entertainment side of things. And of course, this is very entertaining because it's women and children, so that's why it matters. And we're all very entertained. He goes on to say he didn't mention that it was women and children because he finds them. This is somebody who would actually say, I don't think they're more important than men, but it's to emphasize that they were non-combatants. Of course, that's the justification everyone would use. But really, no, we care more about women and children than men. And so the murdering will continue because you can't raise men not to respect themselves and then somehow respect other people. The Vietnam War, for example, fought over a bunch of lies. My dad was forced to go and fight. My mom was not. And so we decide who innocent women and children are by who we force to go to fight in wars. Because later on, that same person, the Amazing Atheist, and all people have this mentality. He doesn't just refer to innocent women and children, innocent civilians, innocent people. Innocent people were killed, innocent civilians were killed. So again, we have a culture. Our culture can see any news story, and when it has people being murdered, it'll make a distinction for these people, and then they'll buy into it between who is innocent and who is not innocent, who deserved to be killed and who did not. All you have to say is 16 insurgents were killed versus 16 innocent people were killed, including 4 women. It's popular to do, but on a real moral and on a real moral scale, and speaking of equality, to say that 16 people were killed, including 9 children and 3 women, and just leaving, and the rest of them were just people. No, the rest of them were men. To make that distinction, you're raising a culture of insane people. Only insane people, and there's plenty of insane people. That's why it just seems natural. And only insane people read a story and say 16 people were innocent. They were civilians. Oh, that's worse. Why is that worse? You can hate men all you want and think women are better than men. You're going to raise fucking insane people who go on shooting rampages, for example. This person, whoever it was, who slipped away, notice the slip away in LA Times. That's to make it seem like, okay, we have all these normal people who are killing the right people, and one rogue person slipped away. Okay, keep doing that. And as Malcolm X said about the John F. Kennedy situation, never mind the reference if you don't get it, but chickens come home to roost, meaning they're going to come back here. They're not all going to die. Some of them are going to come back here, and they're going to go on shooting rampages, meaning our military. Plenty have come back and shot up innocent women. Well, you took these boys, they became men, you socialized them to kill whoever you said they should kill, stripped them of their humanity, stripped them of an alternative life where they wouldn't have to go killing whoever they're told to, always killing on lies, and then they short circuit and kill the wrong people. Our culture deserves what it gets. Of course, it deserves the school shootings because we do the same thing to children, especially when they're boys. It's a mess. But again, like I say, Hitler never killed anyone, for example. A lot of people killed on behalf of Hitler. It takes the perils of obedience, you see. Remember the shock video? You can look up the Milgram experiments where people are shocking, they think they're shocking people to death because someone told them to do it. Long story short. You have personal responsibility. These military people, they have personal responsibility, but they live in a culture where it's very hard to be a man and not have your sense of self stripped and not be told you have to do these completely soul stripping things, or else you're not a real man. Or else, for example, if you're in the military and you don't kill whoever they tell you to, you can be put to death according to the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, a separate set of laws the military are held to. So think of that the next time you insanely pretend to believe that you get to decide, readers, military officials, military personnel, insanely you get to decide who is innocent, innocent people, innocent civilians, innocent women and children, and who just deserves to be killed. You can keep pretending that you can make that distinction and not become unbelievably insane. It won't happen. You're going to be insane, and imagine what kind of children you're going to raise. People who think that you're a hero because you're off killing people. They can believe that, but then if people who are right in here in this nation doing the same thing, we'd have to say, well, wow, did they kill innocent police officers, for example? Did they kill innocent? I mean, not no, if police, because of course police officers do crazy shit too. But I mean, if people started killing police officers, we'd have to say, well, wait a minute, did they kill innocent police officers or did they kill the rogue police officers? All of a sudden, you can just go on shooting rampages, and people have to say, well, wait a minute, what were the genders of the people that the murderous rampager went on? Who did that person kill? To say nothing of once women start murdering in our military, and we don't, because it happens, but it doesn't get reported because it would make the military look bad. It would also make women less of an object that we can say we're fighting for innocent women and children. What, innocent women and children? You mean like the women who kill their kids whenever they want, and we call it a right to choose and call them heroes? Yeah, those people, aren't they morally superior to men? They just kill, they just dig in themselves and yank out kids, which is apparently the only thing that we valued women for. Oh, just you just want them to be baby makers. Okay, what else are they good for besides being objects of lust? I mean, as far as society, what else are they good for? Objects of lust, objects of reverence and looking up to, or amazing creatures that can make children all of their own. Apparently now that requires a man, but we worship women in these ways, and we pretend they're something they're not, which is human. Pretend they're not human. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. We pretend they're not human, and we use them as a justification to go out killing people, saying, "Oh, I'm doing it on behalf of women." Getting crazier and crazier, but this Afghan situation, 16 dead. For one, it's a symptom of an insane culture that thinks they can kill whoever they want, and they just have to label them. Oh, it wasn't innocent civilians, it wasn't innocent citizens, it wasn't innocent people, it wasn't innocent women and children. We were going to raise insane people. And two, imagine three more 9/11s happening today, March 14th. You could pretend, oh, hey, they must hate our freedom. You have to know your enemy. If you're going around doing this stuff in Afghanistan and then someone does something to the United States, you go, why the hell would they do that? We're over there helping people. Okay. They should have known that was one rogue guy that slipped out. All right. But of course, plenty of people have the mentality in this culture, the United States and the West in general, that they can do whatever they want, and then they just, oh, well, we apologized for the 16 people dead. The Secretary of State went over there personally. It means nothing. It means nothing to the 16 people, even if they were all men. Imagine that, if they were all men. Other cultures actually don't hate men and despise them and put them in the boxes that our culture does. Like in Afghanistan, in Middle Eastern countries, they don't do that same thing where it's like, well, women are what's important, men don't matter. They actually don't do that. So even if it was just 16 men died, there are going to be people who hate the United States for the rest of their lives now. And they're going to raise everyone else to. And they're not going to have to say, we hate them because they have Britney Spears, as so many stupid people pretend they just hate us for some reason. Or we hate them because they're free. No, they will just be able to say, well, you know what? Military, they're a bunch of hypocrite assholes. They send over psychotic men raised on pro wrestling, football, and military war video games. And they send them over, and sometimes they slaughter whole families. If ever the other people, besides the United States and the warring, if they ever coordinate and really start to understand what's going on, and they're able to coordinate, they'll absolutely purge our soldiers out of their lands, and they might just purge our country the off of the globe, and that would suck because that mean I'd be going too. But it would be absolutely fair